Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. In this series, as I did last week, I'm going to continue to track my portfolio and compare my performance to the S&P 500 index and Warren Buffett's portfolio. Now this week, unlike last week, I did not beat the S&P 500 index. Actually, I was pretty far behind. My portfolio started off pretty well at the beginning of the week. When the market went down, my portfolio was up. And then on Tuesday, I had a fairly good day as well. And then on Wednesday, when the market rallied, my portfolio flatlined, and I was just barely in the green. And then on Thursday, I was just barely in the green again, while the market was up a bit more than my portfolio was. And then on Friday, which is what really messed me up, my dividend portfolio barely went anywhere at all. I think that it was up like 0.1%, and my REIT portfolio was down 1.3%, which just wiped away a lot of my returns for that week. I still was in the green slightly for the week, but I like to see, it's a good ego boost whenever your portfolio outperforms the S&P 500 and Berkshire Hathaway on a consistent basis. But this week it just didn't happen. It was I really frankly got stamped in the ground by Berkshire Hathaway. They were up over 3% this week, and my dividend portfolio was up like maybe at 0.8%. And my REIT portfolio was up 0.5%, or it might have been the other way around. So instead of me just guessing, let's just look at the numbers. If you look at my REIT portfolio, it broke $6,000 this week, which is pretty exciting. It wasn't quite there last week, but I was getting close. So I am very happy about that milestone. Now, the portfolio was up 0.5%. So, it was still in the green. Still made a little bit of money this week, not nearly as much as I would have liked to. But, as I said in the last video, whenever Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway didn't do as well as the market did, you win some, you lose some. It's just how it goes. So, even if I'm not making a lot on capital gains, I still get a lot of dividends. So I can still look forward to that regardless of whether this is up or down. But as you can see, this was only up 0.5%, and I did remark earlier that the S&P 500 was significantly higher than that. So I'm going to go and look at my dividend portfolio, and then we'll look at the benchmarks that I'm comparing against and see how they did. Alright, so my dividend portfolio is up 0.8% this week, and there are more holdings in this portfolio, obviously, than my REIT portfolio, so I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about what happened. Bank of America, which is one of my larger holdings, was down 4% this week, 4.05% to be exact. And that really put a drag on my returns because that's about 10% of the portfolio. I have only two positions larger than that one. All the other holdings are either even with that or less. So I still had most of my stocks were actually in the green, but just the Bank of America just really, although it has been a real boon to my portfolio over the past month, it kind of drug it down, which is fine. That's what happens sometimes. So everywhere else, I'm pretty much in the green. Wells Fargo, which I have an equally sizable holding as Bank of America, was down to 1.54%. And I have another utility company that was down 1.35%, but that's a smaller holding. It's only about 5% of my portfolio. But I really think Bank of America is really one of the reasons why this was down. If Bank of America were up, above 1%, I would have saw a better overall return for this portfolio this week. But again, sometimes that happens with your larger holdings and affects your portfolio as a whole. So let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500 index and see how it did. So the S&P 500 index was up 1.57%. Not too bad of a week for the market. So if you beat the market this week, congratulations. If not, then you can just join me and say maybe next week. But not much to say here. There was a lot of earnings reported this week, and a lot of very strong earnings. Tesla reported strong earnings. There was a lot of really good news in the market, and that led to the market to rally, especially on Wednesday. That was really the big day for the market, if I recall correctly. So, good week for the market. Let's go ahead and look at Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio. Alright, so Berkshire Hathaway this week was at 3.15%, an excellent return for the week for Warren Buffett's company. And I have consistently beaten the returns of this company and also the S&P 500 since I've started investing in this particular portfolio back in November. And then I made some big moves in December, which really boosted my portfolio's return. But this week, though, they got me good. Warren Buffett got over three times the return that my portfolio had. So it'd be interesting to see as the year goes on if I'm going to be able to stay ahead of the S&P 500 and Warren Buffett's portfolio. I'm ahead right now on returns compared to those two benchmarks, but we'll see as the year goes on if that persists. Like I said, the big reason why I didn't do so well this week was because of Bank of America's decline of about 4.05%. So it was an okay week for me this week. I was still in the green, so that's always good. It's always feels good to be green in the green when the market's in the green. Otherwise, it's a little bit a hit to the ego, so to speak. So overall, it's kind of a meh week, but I have those every once in a while. There's been weeks where I have been stamped into the ground by the benchmarks, but hopefully I'll keep making sound investing decisions, and that will pay off its dividends in the future, and I will be able to say about a year from now, at the beginning of next year, that I beat the market, and I'll be able to continue to do that. So, but like I said, I did say to you guys that I would be transparent, and if I didn't beat the market, I would let you guys know. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just being honest. I'd had a really good week last week, not so good week this week, but I'm looking forward to this week, to seeing how the returns pan out. And I don't know if anyone else who watches my videos is this way, but I love watching numbers. I just love it. I like watching the market go up. I'll check my portfolio all day just because I want to see what the numbers are doing. To me, that's just entertaining. And it's one of the reasons why I enjoy watching elections so much, political elections. I like seeing the numbers come in from the voters. And numbers just get me excited. And I don't know if any of you guys feel that way, but this is one of the reasons why I like tracking my portfolio like this week by week. It's just fun for me regardless of whether I am beating the market or not. So if you have watched this far, I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed already, I hope you will consider subscribing. Maybe give the video a like to show your support. And I hope you all have a great week, and God bless.